Food is one of the biggest cultural elements that creates bonds between people. Here on Culture Nepal, we would like to share Nepali food with our friends and learn about their cuisine. Welcome to International Cuisine of Culture Nepal, and we have very special guests today, Kevin and Rachel. Kevin is passionate food.
I like food.
He loves food. Like or love?
Both.
So he's passionate about food and food chemistry, and his sister Rachel, who lives in exotic place, Tokyo, Japan. She was born and raised here and visiting her family for the holiday, and she often visits whenever. This is her home. She has amazing knowledge on Japanese culture, living in Japan, Tokyo, and so we're gonna hear a lot of interesting stories, and they are here to share the special dish that Kevin is gonna make. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will enjoy.
Tofu Marsala and paneer Marsala. And so just to start, we're just going to get the wine reducing on the back burner.
Yeah. For those who are vegetarian, and is it vegan too? Not vegan.
No.
Vegetarian who don't eat meat, this is a fabulous dish, and you might be wondering how.
Ooh. Oh, that heats up fast.
Yeah.
That's that induction.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we're just going to let that reduce for a while,
Alright.
and then we can adjust once we go to use it.
So what is this? This is Marsala. This
Yes.
is the tricks. Like, what is it made out of?
So this is a fortified wine from Sicily.
Okay.
It's a white wine, a white grape wine that they've added brandy to.
Oh, okay.
So it's
That's the key ingredients of Marsala.
So if
Are
I
you trying
couldn't
to-
find it, could I make my own by adding brandy to white wine?
if you have the right brandy,
And
presumably.
the right brandy and the right wine?
Yeah.
Oh,
You could
okay.
probably get something pretty close.
Okay, I never knew that.
So
And-
what is the proportion of?
It'll depend on the manufacturer, but you can assume the wine to be about 10 to 12%, and then this is about 18.5%.
It also has an interesting flavor.
So you boil this first before you do anything.
Yeah, so we just put that on just to kind of simmer and reduce.
Oh, okay. Okay. How did you get into this Marsala?
So it's a classic Italian dish.
Okay.
And usually it's made with chicken.
Okay.
But since there was the sort of phonetic similarity to masala,
Yeah.
I thought it'd be funny to use paneer
Okay.
sometime. And so to be paneer marsala instead of paneer masala, but cheese cooked in a wine sauce just happened
really
to be
good.
really good.
Living in Japan, you probably eat a lot of tofu too, right?
Oh, yeah, I love tofu.
So how about paneer? Is paneer famous there, or tofu is more?
I think tofu is definitely more famous, but at Indian restaurants in Japan, I will order paneer a lot. But I think probably the most common thing you see at an Indian restaurant there is butter chicken. People love butter chicken.
Oh, okay.
People in Japan aren't used to eating spicy food,
Yeah.
although, people who love spice wherever you are in the world.
Being a food expert, what's the difference between paneer and tofu?
So tofu is made from soybeans. A lot of people do think of it as kind of a meat replacement. It is more like a bean cheese. So it's basically you grind the soybeans to make a soy milk.
Yeah.
And then you filter out a lot of the sort of the fibers.
Yes.
And then you sort of heat that and then add salts to it that sort of coagulate it. Then you press out the moisture and you're left with kind of this spongy curd.
Okay.
And that's really good for cooking it, and it'll bring in any of the flavors of the sauce you cook in it.
But paneer also did the similar thing. That's made out of milk.
Yeah, so
right?
that one they use cow's milk.
Cow's milk.
And I don't know what they use to thicken it, or use to
Coagulate?
coagulate, but
Coagulate, yeah.
calcium chloride. So a lot of companies will just add the calcium sulfate to put in additional calcium.
Oh.
The magnesium chloride is the one that'll get a firmer texture. So calcium sulfate would be good for just regular soft tofu.
Oh, okay.
And then gluconadelta-lactone
Right.
is used if you're just doing like a silken tofu.
What are the categories, and how are they different? What make them different?
Yeah, so the categories are based on firmness, and it's the silken, which is a lot like Jell-O,
Yeah.
a little bit more creamy.
Yeah.
And then you have a just sort of soft tofu,
Yeah.
then firm, extra firm, and this one we have is super firm.
Yes, this one is a super form, right?
Yeah. So if you were going to use an extra firm, we would have an additional step where we'd sort of cut the tofu
Yes.
into strips kind of like this.
Yeah.
And then we would sort of lay them down and place a heavy weight on them to press out excess moisture. But if you're starting with super firm, we don't need to do that.
Okay.
Do you slice it before you press it?
Yes.
Well, I've never done that. I always slice it. I press it as one big block.
Yeah, you can do it either way.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I did not know that you can make super form by form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I'll just
True.
cut it and then just kind of squeeze it gently, just to remove a little bit of the moisture.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
if I don't plan ahead,
Yeah. So when do you use silken tofu, and when do you use the super form? Like
silken's really good for soups.
Okay.
So you see it a lot in miso soup.
Yeah.
And then sort of the firmer you get, the more you get for like sort of stir fries, and then the extra firm is really good for grilling even.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Grilling is
That sounds
tofu
good.
kebab is really, that's another really good dish.
Oh,
Yeah.
we
yeah.
should do that next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
This
I
we
would
can
like
just
to
put on the
sit-
back burner. And then for we have the tofu and the paneer.
Yes.
And we can just get I did a few beforehand, so the pan's a little
Right.
dirty, and just
Yeah.
get
The
that,
pan is seasoned.
yeah,
I know. Seasoned.
it's
Yeah,
seasoned.
exactly.
heating back up. And you want that just sort of medium high,
Yeah.
and just add a bit of oil. And this is just a mixture of flour, salt, and pepper.
Uh-huh.
Just going to
Oh, I see.
sort of toss that in.
Okay. That's any kind of flour or?
Yeah, so this is wheat flour,
Okay.
just all-purpose.
All-purpose wheat flour.
And this will help
Just
brown
like
and
that.
develop some sort of caramel,
Yeah.
some kind of brown flavors.
Yes.
And it also, once we add it to the sauce, will help thicken the sauce.
Oh, that's a nice trick. I did not know. So Rachel, do you also cook? What kind of
yeah,
food
I love
you
to
cook?
Well, I cook all kinds of food, I guess. I do really like to eat Japanese food, but I also make, my family's recipes when I can find the stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm crazy about sushi actually.
Yeah. There are some really good vegetable sushis that people do these
Yeah.
days too. It's really new, but often very exciting. Sliced in ways to look like fish. There's some really beautiful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because a vegetarian and kind of vegan or macrobiotic
Yeah.
food is becoming more popular in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Not as like a diet, but maybe for health reasons. I'm going to go
Right.
out and have a vegan meal today because it's more
Yeah.
healthy. But
Yeah.
people are going to still continue eating meat and fish in
Of
their
course.
own lives. But
Yeah.
it's been really fun, and it makes it easier when friends and family visit me.
Oh, yeah,
I'll try
yeah,
something
yeah.
that
Yeah.
is suitable for vegetarians and vegans.
Yeah, yeah.
What is avocado sushi? Is that
Oh
your
my
favorite?
God, avocado and tempura sweet potato.
Sometimes tempura sweet potato is better than dessert. That the water you use for it has to be absolutely ice cold.
Oh,
And
really?
that's
I
how
did
you
not
get like
know
the
that.
crispy, fluffy batter.
Okay.
I've had issues because I like to do crab rangoons
Oh,
when
yeah.
I can, and those are best fried.
That crab rangoon, does it have real crab or something else?
So it uses sort of fake crab, which is mostly Alaskan pollock, which
Okay.
gets
That's a white fish.
it gets ground
Oh.
into something called a surimi, which they also use in Japan to make sort of rice cakes that they use for soups.
Oh, really?
Not fish cakes.
Fish cakes.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I just learned something new. What are you doing over there?
So I'm just taking off the little cap of the part. Some
Okay.
people don't do that. I like to do that.
I am too. Me too.
Yeah.
You're like so much like, yeah.
Maybe this guy's ready.
Yeah,
He's
that
looking
guy
nice
looks
and-
good.
Maybe this guy
This
needs a
is
little
a
more
bit,
time.
yeah.
And you're just looking
I
for a nice golden brown.
golden brown, yeah.
The rest of them want some more time.
I know, it's very appetizing when you look at them. So you can literally eat just like that too, right?
Yeah.
I did a little bit before we started filming.
It's just a very neutral flavor, has good protein, low fat, just kind of pretty,
Yeah.
generally
so
good healthy snack. When I was working for a tofu manufacturer, they did they were trying out a barbecue, pre-made barbecue flavor.
Yeah.
Never made it to market, but I got some of the test samples, and I'd bring them home,
my
cut those thin, and you could kind of fry them up like barbecue potato chips. Those were really good.
Oh,
I was sad that
wow.
one didn't make it to market.
That sounds
Oh.
great.
Yeah, having a good product and then marketing is totally different thing. So tell us about your experience in Japan, what you do, like how is the adjustment and
I have like a lot of adjustments when I come back home because I don't know how things work in America anymore. We were saying before, you've lived here longer than you lived in Nepal, and I've lived slightly less long in Japan, but I've never been an adult in the U.S. It's a very nice place to live.
Yeah.
I love the food. I really like the people.
Yeah.
Tokyo is a fun city. You can get around by public transport. Anything you want to do is there. That's really fun.
Yeah.
But you know, when I come home, I really miss like making small talk with strangers. When you go to the grocery store and you chat with someone at the register, you can't do that in Tokyo. You have to. People have to be on their best manners all the time.
Have you seen a lot of changes in your town?
Many.
Really?
I don't even know where to start. There's a lot more. Like it's a lot better to walk around than when I was growing up here, I think.
Yeah.
And there are a lot more people from different parts of the world. You see people from everywhere, probably not literally everywhere, but speaking all different languages. It's really exciting.
Oh, wow. So tell us about your work.
My background's in food science, bachelor's degree in Framingham, and then master's degree in Idaho, which is where I did.
Oh wow, Idaho! Wow.
Yeah. So out of my bachelor's, I went to the tofu manufacturer and did QC and R&D for a while, and then went to do my master's and made tofu out of peas instead of soy.
Oh my God!
So we called it pifu.
Oh
and
my
then
God! Yeah.
one of the Chinese postdocs would always give us a weird look until she told us that it's the word for skin.
Pifu is in Chinese.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
We started looking for another name.
Okay.
Did you choose another name, or did it stay Pifu forever?
I think between me and my professor, we always just called it pifu.
Yeah.
Just gonna add a little bit of pepper.
Olive oil and butter and onion and chili pepper?
Well, this is just butter
Okay.
that was set in, and then set it kind of on medium-low just until it starts to brown.
Okay.
And then once you get like the little brown bits forming, you add in some of the pepper and then the onions, and then you can just add the mushrooms, and we can.
The mushrooms are my favorite part.
Yeah.
That was a lucky one. Running away from getting caught.
He really thought he escaped.
Not your average
Yeah.
mushroom. We're talking about the mechanism of pifu.
Yeah.
That's
So
very fascinating and interesting.
So it's kind of annoying because it's called the mechanical properties.
Okay.
And you take the tofu and you put it into what's called a texture analyzer, and you take the texture profile analysis, and that gives you the mechanical properties. And if you're talking to someone and you try and say the mechanical properties as texture, they will correct you. And it gets annoying in academia.
Of
So
course.
I'm happy to be out of academia.
Absolutely. Academia is a whole different world.
Yeah.
But that's a very interesting idea, though.
There is something called Burmese tofu,
Okay.
and that sometimes uses chickpeas, sometimes uses peanuts. So these ones are typically, you sort of cook them, and the starch breaks down and binds with the water and forms a gel, and that's sort of what thickens it.
Okay.
So what we had to do was find a way to not have that happen with the peas.
Literally, theoretically, you can make tofu out of anything, as long as they have protein.
So what we found through the course of doing my lit review and then the thesis was it needs specific types of proteins that have subunits that break apart when exposed to heat.
Okay.
And then the salts sort of bind to the hydrophobic regions and then help to bind then to the fat and then incorporate it into a
Is there a lot
sort
of
of a
fat
curd.
in peas, though? Fat
There
in
is
peas.
not.
Okay.
And that's why we had to add some to get our product to work.
What if you use marrow fat peas?
What is that?
There's a type of peas that has the word fat in the name, but I don't know why they're called that. They probably don't have fat because
Yeah.
they're vegetables.
And I haven't heard of those peas. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, so soy naturally has a lot of fat in it, why you get
Really?
soybean oil. So they're very high in fat, very high in protein,
Proteins,
very
okay.
low in carbs. The peas, we had to grind them, and then I would
Yes.
set the pea milk, and then
she, like,
the starch sort of settles down. And then you pour that off, and you pour off the top part, and then the starch I microwaved it once, and it forms something very similar to a bread, kind of like a pão de queijo if you had Brazilian food.
How did you come up with this idea of pea food?
University was in Moscow, Idaho, which also has the Pea and Lentil Council. So it's good for people who are allergic to soy.
Oh, a lot of people have soy allergies, don't they?
They do?
Yeah, that's one of the big 7 allergens.
Okay.
So getting people to sort of accept it and people to sort of change over, that would be...
How was the color and the texture compared to tofu?
So the color was a bit yellow. We used yellow split peas.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
yeah, so the texture was a little bit more crumbly. It didn't have as cohesive a texture, but sort of more firm and springy it would get. So we did sort of what's called a response surface modeling.
Yeah.
So you can model different variables, and you input all those, and then you have like a sheet. Instead of just a line, it's like a sheet, and you can change how the variables is, and it'll show you. It was very fun to play with. Once I graduated, I was kind of done with doing. Massachusetts isn't great for food production. That's more out in the Midwest and largely in California.
Yeah.
So Massachusetts does have a lot of his biomed, and if you have lab skills, you can kind of go in between different labs and...
Yeah. So now you're not in the food industry, or
right.
is it? Okay.
Yeah, so now doing antibody discovery.
Oh, yeah.
But we do yeast surface display, so I still get to play with yeast, which has a very nice aroma, so it's kind of like I'm cooking.
Do you think lab work is more interesting in terms of food industry?
Definitely lab.
Lab.
I've worked a bit in restaurants and...
Oh, you have?
Yeah, it was
what restaurant did you work?
It was a corporate kitchen for sort of a business park. So they have like a kitchen inside that people working in the building could come down, get lunch.
Yeah.
And that was probably easier than if it was a proper kitchen.
Okay.
And then before I went for the master's degree, also after the tofu, I did work for Welch's down the road from here.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. There's a lot. Welch was originally started by Thomas Bromwell Welch, who was I think a Methodist preacher who marketed it as unfermented grape wine so that people could have sort of sacraments without getting intoxicated.
But then everybody's very proud of him.
Of course, yeah. Having that knowledge, how it works.
It was just, browning the butter, adding the onions, garlic, mushrooms, sort of adding the reduced Marsala.
How much do you think it reduced by? Like, there's maybe less than half than what you put in.
Yeah, so I don't usually measure the Marsala. I just kind of...
Yeah, that's the real cook do that.
Yeah.
Measure with your heart.
Yeah,
measure with the heart,
particularly with the Marsala, because it's the main flavor. The two big flavors are the browned butter and the Marsala, so you don't want to skimp on either. Just going to rinse out the pan with a bit more.
Oh, okay.
Is it deglazing the pan?
Do you need to warm it up also, or just cold is fine?
It should be.
Okay.
Just because some of the sticky bits, the extra
have like
concentrated.
the flavor.
Yeah, it's basically a Marsala syrup.
Yeah.
Ooh.
In English, you can only call it tofu for certain conditions, maybe, if it meets like a certain, I don't know. Japanese will call anything that's like a tofu texture tofu. So
you mentioned like a peanut tofu, maybe? There is in Okinawan food a peanut tofu, which is it's very sweet. It's kind of like a dessert. It's almost like it's such a creamy, soft texture, like a pudding almost, but a little bit more solid. There's a sesame tofu, which is black.
Oh, sesame tofu.
Yeah, there's not any soybeans in it. It's not literally tofu, but it makes the same kind of shape and almost the same texture. And that's my favorite. It's kind of
imagine
like a
that'd be
dessert. It's so
sesame.
good. And maybe my least favorite that I can think of is egg tofu, which is just like a
egg tofu.
It's kind of a block.
Egg?
It's like a custard-y. I don't know what the difference between brewing and distilling is, except that a beer is brewed and hard liquor is distilled.
Yeah.
The fermentation of the sugars to alcohol.
Also, brewing is when there's fermentation.
Yeah, and then the distilling is then heating the alcohol until it's sort of evaporates and then comes back down and comes out.
What is the biggest mistake somebody could make that they need to watch out for?
Probably burning during the browning is.
Oh yeah.
True.
I remember the first time I like started a fire on the stove and I just looked at it. I thought that I would be panicked and I felt in my heart panicked, but I looked at it and I said to it very calmly, please stop being on fire. And then I put the lid down on it and then it stopped being on fire. And I was like, oh, thank God. That worked so much better than I expected. So after all the crisping up, you put it right in the
Yes,
wet
that's more developing the flavor.
Ah, I see.
Just kind of toasting the flour on it.
So you don't have the heat on it, just kind of submerge into it and let it sit.
Yes, we're just going to simmer it for a little
Simmer
bit.
for a little bit.
Mom likes to add peas.
Yeah.
It adds a nice color.
It's pretty.
If you
with
like
the
peas, it adds
yeah.
a good flavor.
That's what I really look forward to when I come home and visit my family is cooking together.
Food binds us so much together, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Much in the way the salts bind the tofu together.
Oh, that's profound.
What are you adding?
I had
Bit of
almost
salt, bit of pepper. Just
Japanese people love Japanese rice, and I mean I love it too.
sticky. How do you determine whether it's perfectly cooked or not? Like, what is the?
So one thing you can do with some of the thicker noodles,
Look at you, just
just kind of
holding this hot noodle.
snap it. And if you see, you can kind of see that the center
Okay.
is still a little yellow. So it's still waiting for that to kind of turn that more opaque, kind of
Oh, I see.
gelatinized. Also, just by feel.
The
you can-
eating.
Yeah.
Taste, well not
Tasty.
taste, texture.
Yeah, depends, just how you like it. Most people go for al dente, which means like to the tooth.
Oh, that's what
So
they
it's
call
kind of
it.
chewy.
Yeah. Some people, like my grandfather, who didn't have really teeth. So
Yeah, I remember eating dinner with him.
Oh.
The worse and worse his teeth get. He took what we looked at the store, the thin pasta called angel hair. That's
Oh
how
yeah,
thin it is.
that's what I.
Yeah, which he boiled that for. He was boiling it for like 10 minutes. At that point, my dad was like, "This is ridiculous. I'm not eating that." And he took his portion of the pasta out. And Kevin and my mom and I, we thought, how much longer could he cook this for? And he cooks it for like another 5 minutes. And we're like, no sign of wanting to take it out. So we take ours out too. And he ends up boiling the angel hair pasta for nearly 20 minutes, I would say.
Yeah.
Whereas this pasta, which is like 4 or 5 times as thick at least, you cook for, it says,
1
8
hour.
minutes. It wasn't even pasta. It was almost
my
like
God.
rice. It was like coconut shreds floating around him. I couldn't believe it. He would say, cook it till it's mush-a-mush.
yeah,
Mush-a-mush. He said it as if it were
Mush-
Italian.
that's-
Mush-a-mush.
I can see that the little thing in the center is
Oh, okay. Yeah.
gone.
Oh, I see.
Don't know if you want to eat one
Oh,
that
yeah,
Kevin
well-
had touched.
Wow. Not
They're a
only
nice
pretty,
looking
it's
mushroom.
delicious and healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, Alfredo is actually pretty easy. It's just the sort of sauteed garlic, onions, and then just some milk,
Yeah.
a roux.
What is
and
a roux?
So it's flour and oil or butter
Oh,
mixture.
okay.
So when you mix them together until they get like a thicker consistency, you
Okay.
use the flour to thicken
Yeah.
the
Oh, I
butter and
see.
milk?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Is that always
That's
called
it?
a roux, like regardless of the liquid you use?
Yeah, it's a fat and a flour.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's
I
the
see.
roux. Yeah, and then Parmesan or
Oh, I
Parmesan
love
cheese.
a good
Parmesan.
cheese.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
and what can go wrong there?
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
Alfredo.
Alfredo.
That's not an Italian dish, or it's not the Italian
Oh,
name.
it's not?
Yeah, so Alfredo was the name of the chef who was cooking it at this restaurant. And when they make it in Italy, it had a different name, like maybe Al Burro or something, like the donkey. When they're calling it Alfredo was an
That is
American
interesting.
invention.
Oh wow. Oh, I love how it comes out when you add the
Yeah.
whipping cream. Let me hold that. Wow.
Thank you.
Ooh, that looks so good.
Do you need a-
We're done making
Yeah.
marsala tofu, paneer marsala today. And thank you so much. And it looks fabulous, delicious. So are we gonna eat
Yeah.
this now?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
Do you need
Oh,
some
you
hand-
start with that?
Oh
Okay.
wow, look at you.
Try
My
and do this,
God,
make as
so
little a mess as
professional.
possible.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Look at that.
Wow. Tofu, mushroom, garlic, onion,
And the paneer cheese
paneer
was in there.
cheese, and then the
Marsala wine and the cream.
Cream,
Did we say
ooh.
butter?
butter,
Yeah.
of course. Kevin, thank you. That
Thank
looks
you, Kevin.
amazing. So how are we gonna eat this?
It's starting to stick to itself, but
Okay.
that's good. That helps the sauce stick to it.
Actually,
Yeah, a lot of people put the pasta into the sauce to cook too.
Yeah.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, you
Oh, okay.
cook
That's a
the
good-
pasta most of the way and then finish it in the sauce.
Yeah.
And then also the water from the pasta has starches in it that also give the sauce some good texture.
Actually, I have a question. I grew up boiling pasta and then draining the water and then washing with the cold water. What do you think of that?
That can help stickiness, but that can also make it more difficult for the sauce to stick to it.
Okay. So your preference is not to wash it.
Yeah, I also like sticky pasta.
Okay.
I like sticky pasta.
Oh, so you can pick and choose what you like the most that way.
Yeah. Something like this, just get a little bit of everything and make sure you get mushrooms that can kind of toss that through, and then once the sauce hits it, it becomes a little bit more
Less
easy
stick.
to
Okay, wow.
individualize the noodles.
Pasta. I love the ending, like serving process. Thank you so much. Oh,
Yeah, what we could do is add a little bit of the sauce to it.
To unstick it.
Yeah. But it's harder to do that when you keep it in the, I left it in the sieve.
In the
yeah,
colander.
yeah. Okay, and
I might just use this.
so how do you recognize which one is which one is tofu and which one is paneer?
So the paneer is a bit smaller.
I think the one with this color is the paneer, and this browner, and the tofu is more of a tan color, and it's
I see.
I do usually
Beige-er?
use the extra firm. Now, are you
The
Mike?
brain behind the
No,
work.
I will have to pick up my microphone through my other people's voices,
Oh.
which will be kind of a pain, which is why it's nice to only do it for the last minute.
It's your first time having, paneer, tofu, or any kind of marsala pasta?
I feel like I've probably had it at your house at some point.
It seems likely to me. Yeah.
Kevin, you are the expert on this. What do you think of it, this outcome?
How did
Are
it
you
come?
happy?
Oh, I'm happy.
Satisfied with it?
Yep.
It came as it should come.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I having my first bite?
All right.
Wow. Very, very delicious. Are you going to make this in Japan now?
You know,
When
if I
go
can
back?
find marsala wine, I'm going to.
This is very special tofu paneer marsala dish that Kevin has made, and very grateful for that, and thank you so much. I hope you will be able to enjoy that at your home. Now you know how to make it. Thank you for watching. Bye.